That's the tornado right there. Maximum rotation right there. There's Marty looking north-northwest. Count the miles with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Lacey, I tell you what, do a miles here in projection. Just go ahead and just from Marty's location, and then also do one from downtown Woodward, just for fun. There's Marty. It's showing it 4 miles away, and it's right about in here, it looks like to me. So close to 4 miles, and then from downtown Woodward, it's closer to 5 or 5.5. So pretty close, but it's stationary. You can loop this all day long. Yeah, 5 miles north of downtown Woodward, north-northwest, okay? That's the tornado. It's right on, it's a farm road, 340 road. It's just about on that road. And then there's Highway 34, all right? And it's not moving. It's not headed down to the south towards Woodward. It's not moving really north right now. It's stationary. And you can still see it here. Let's take the shot full screen again, control room. Let's look at the tornado. There it is. There's the hook wrapping right there. There's the tornado. I can still see it. There's the left side of it. There's the right side. And it might cycle. This might occlude and go away, and then it might produce another tornado right over here. See how this is starting to wrap in right here? See how this is starting to turn right there? So we might have a new area of spin developing to the right. That would be a new mesocyclone taking over, and the old one is still wrapped in rain, which makes it really a dangerous tornado now. Again, 5 miles north of Woodward. And we'll see what's going on behind this tree. Let's go back to Marty Logan. Marty, your tornado now becoming wrapped in rain. Sometimes it can stay wrapped in rain, or it can kill it. There's no guarantees on either way. We just have to keep watching this minute by minute. But it looks like the area of circulation to your right, Marty, is getting a little bit stronger. Give us an update.
Backlit by the sun.
Okay, Trooper Jacobs Sawatsky here with me.
Another dark
we can still see that original tornado is on the ground. It is still on the ground.
So we're watching that area for new tornado, but I do believe there is still a tornado on the ground.
Guys, this is closer to me. This is only about 2 to 3 miles away from me. We have more rapid rain
on the ground. It is definitely on the ground,
just left of that
to
tree.
the north of Woodward. It's not moving much. As a matter of fact, I was just talking with Shane. He says he thinks it might be actually moving back to the west, and it does. I don't have as good a visual on it. It seems to be perhaps maybe getting a little further away, although it's hard to tell. There's rain now between it and me.
Yeah, no, Chris, it certainly is drifting a little bit up to the north-northwest there. So we're watching this closely. First Alert Doppler 3D will show you exactly where the tornado is. We're going to be looking just west of Highway 34. This is going to be just right along County Road 0340. So just west of Highway 34, it looks like the velocity couplet is very tight with this storm as it continues to drift up to the northeast. This is a tornado warning. This is moving away from Woodward, but this will be approaching the community of Selman and eventually into Buffalo. Shane Helton, what do you have?
Damon, I'm definitely watching that tornado. It is rain wrapped, but I've got a second wall cloud here just to the northeast of that tornado. It's not doing anything yet, but it's got a little bit of rotation with it and a lot of motion. But there is still a decent tornado wrapped up in rain right there. It's just straight north of Woodward. It looked, like we said a minute ago, it looked like it was just going to the west. So if you're north of Woodward about 7 miles, and then back to the west about 3-4 miles, you need to be in your shelter right now. This is not something to play with. Rain-wrapped tornado right now.
Yeah, hey, Shane, and you're very familiar with this area. You live up in this part of the state. What type of structures are we talking about here in this area?
There's quite a few trailer houses up here, Damon. That's just, you know, we hate to say that they're tornado magnets, but there's the smallest wind can just destroy a trailer house immediately. So there's a lot of those up here. There are some older homes up here too, and the North Canadian River runs just on the west side of where we're at. And I'm really hoping that this tornado is running right down the river bottom. There's a few houses down in there. The Chain Ranch is right there, for those of you who know who the Chain Ranch is up here. But we're watching this real close. I hope this is right there on that river bottom instead of up here where there's some other houses.
Yeah, and control room, let's flip these pictures here because I need to point to where this tornado is. We see it here in Chris Lee's shot. And so let's see here. It looks like Chris may want to actually pan the camera over just a little bit to the left, I do believe. I saw it there briefly earlier. Hey, Jonathan, I know you've been running the radar over here. What are you seeing from your vantage point?
Yeah, the velocity couplet's still really strong. so it still has a really decent meso with it. There might be a new wall cloud trying to form to the east, but you're looking at Chrisley Stream right there, and the tornado, you know, we're watching that funnel on the right above the sun, but it was to the left of that. That's where the tornado was on the left-hand side. So it's continuing to drop little funnels one after another. The sun is setting. It's backlit right there. Chrisley, there it is. There's a tornado right there, right in the center of the screen. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is, Damon. So it's really hard to see. It's rain wrap, but you can see the cone right in the middle.
Yeah, and the National Weather Service is putting the considerable tornado tag here with this storm control. If you can put me up here on the screen so I can point out where this tornado is. But yeah, this is a National Weather Service has now put in a considerable tornado and confirming a rain wrap tornado with this storm. The sun is now setting, but this storm is drifting up to the northwest. Hey, First Alert Doppler 3D will show exactly how close we are to the city of Woodward. It is moving away from Woodward, but we're getting pretty close to Fort Supply eventually, and it is going to be this area about 2 miles west of Highway 34, about 5 miles north of the city of Woodward, drifting up to the northwest. I want to get Chris Lee back on the phone if he's available. Hey, Chris Lee, what are you seeing from your vantage point? We're getting at least a hazy picture here coming into the studios.
Yeah, it's starting to get dark as the sun set. I lose a lot of that backlit quality that we have. I can see the new wall cloud forming. That's the most prominent feature. You can see it kind of there on the right, just above the stop sign there. But and it is definitely rotating, and I've seen a little thing hanging down from time to time. But that area back behind it, that gray, you see the pink of the sun, but there was a tornado in there. It's now kind of there's rain there, so you can't really see what's in there. There may very well still be a tornado on the ground. Now that the sun's down and not backlighting it the way it was, I just can't see it from where we're at. But it looks to me like perhaps the rotation is now being shifted to this new wall cloud, and that's what we're watching right now.
Yeah, and it looks like they will be issuing a brand new tornado warning for this storm that will be moving up to the north. So we continue to watch this very closely. Again, this is an area that has had a tornado watch for the last at least couple hours or so, and it looks like the threat for tornadoes will continue. Control, if you can put me back up on the wall here. So here we go. This is going to be 2 areas of spin right here, right along Highway 34. This is going to be 1 area of spin. Here's going to be another area of spin, and a brand new tornado warning will be coming out for this storm. So the threat for severe weather out across northwestern Oklahoma, where considerable and very large tornadoes have already been reported throughout the last at least 30 minutes or so. We are watching these storms closely moving up to the northwest. This is moving away from Woodward, but very slowly this is going to eventually make its way into the community of Selman, and that is going to be east of Buffalo, just south of Route 64. So we're watching these 2 areas of spin. This is where we've already had the tornado reported. This is where it looks like we're getting a new tornado that is beginning to form, and that's what you see there on the right-hand side of your television screen, again, right along Highway 34. So this is a situation we are going to continue to watch very, very closely. Keep it with KOCO 5 News. We'll bring you the first alert.
For the first alert to severe weather, stay with KOCO 5 News and KOCO.com.
Showing here on your time of arrival. Okay, so let's go back to it one more time on Storm Shield 9. The tornado has lifted for now, but it might be cycling. It's called a cyclic tornadic supercell. It produces a tornado. Sometimes we're one and done, party's over, time to go home. But often you'll get what we call a cyclic supercell. It'll produce a tornado, it'll cycle, and then it will produce another tornado. And that can happen, and it happens a lot. All right, so that's our concern right now. So the tornado warning continues for areas just north of Woodward, about 4 miles north of town. And, yeah, there goes another area of circulation. Marty Logan is looking almost due north. He's looking right here in his shot. And see that right there in your screen? See that? That's starting to spin again. So it's trying to cycle, and we're trying to get another tornado. We're trying to get another tornado. But right now, it's not quite on the ground. It's not quite on the ground, but it's beginning to lift a little bit north. Let's go back to Marty Logan and get an update from him. And Marty, we have your shot. Hey, Marty, if you get a second, if maybe you can drive a little bit farther north by just a few hundred yards or about a half mile. And that storm is starting to lift a little bit north from you. You know the roads better than I do, but maybe get up on a little higher spot just to your north. Give us an update.
Okay, I had an area that was lowering again, and it's crazy. And I'm going to move north. Just hang with me, guys. We've got another point coming down. This base is several miles wide. There are several areas of rotation in here, and we're going to move up closer, move a little bit farther north. Now I can see the back edge of the storm. It's almost over the top of me, the back edge of the storm. This thing has stayed in the same place for well over an hour. We've been watching this thing for a long time. Still moving north. We've got to get out of these trees. And go back to you, David. Let me get up here and get set up.
Okay. All right. Great job, Marty. He's headed northbound on Highway 34, just north of Woodward. He's going to get in a better spot, a higher spot. And we're looking at some of the velocity data here and the reflectivity. There's where the hook is. That's where the tornado has been. Also, if we can get to control room, get the video re-racked from what we just saw from, 10, 20 minutes ago, that'd be great. Like to show that tornado again to you. And again, Marty's going to drift north. This is where the hook is, and it could produce another tornado. There's the shot. I'm going to point something out. See this right here? It's what I call a clear slot. Right here, north of the highway. And you can see it looks like a little bit of dry air trying to come in, and that might try to form another one here. It sure might. And we got to keep an eye on that. The old mesocyclone has basically gone away, and we're trying to form a new one just about right on top of Highway 34. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's going to be just about on top of Highway 34. Lacey, Cassie, any reports of any damage or anything you guys have heard of?
We haven't seen any reports of damage as of yet. We keep checking. As soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. Okay. All right. Well, and we hope there's not. I mean, we didn't see a whole lot as far as really anything being put up in the air like rooftops or anything like that. That's a good sign. Not to see that kind of stuff, but this tornado was clearly on the ground as it was doing some damage to whatever's out there. But there are neighborhoods in and around this area. There are pockets of homes where people live. Remember, Woodward's right here. Woodward's a pretty good sized town. So it's just north of town. Okay, let's go back. 5 to 6 miles. What's that? 5 to 6 miles north of town. That's where we are now. There's the hook. It's just about on, it's just really almost on Highway 34. Let's go to Marty Logan again. Marty, you're looking at the area of circulation. Do you see an area that's beginning to tighten up? Anything looks suspicious to you?
Yes.
I think you're looking right at it. Give us an update.
Right in there, David. I can't tell you if that thing is on the ground or not. It's rain wrapped again. Remember, here it is, 8:48 at night. The sun is setting on us. I've moved north about another 3 to 4 miles. I'm looking in there. I can't tell you if that tornado is on the ground. I can see a V that's coming down in that rain-wrapped area. Yep, it's halfway to the ground. I can just barely see it right now. Looks like it's halfway to the ground. Northwest of Woodward, still some rotation, rising motion. I'm going to back out, let you guys look at this some more because get the contrast for you. Look off to the right side of the screen. Those clouds are sailing from east to west into this storm. You can see the sun setting out there behind it right now. Guys, I want to say that tornado is either halfway to the ground or on the ground right now in that rain right there. You might, I'm going to zoom in again. You might be able to see it.
Marty, okay, Marty, I see what you're talking about. Okay, you got the inflow from the right. It's ripping in. It's wrapping around. Here's the left side of the updraft right here, and this whole thing is going in and around. And I know the lighting's not good, but this is what you're talking about right there. I know you've zoomed in right to the right spot, as always, doing a great job. And there's the cut. See that? That's the cut right there. So this is on the backside doing that. This is what we call the rear flank downdraft or the dry slot cut wrapping around on the southeast side. This is a classic textbook. And this is now the area of spin. And the old mesocyclone, the old tornado area, that's over here and that's gone, all right? It's all about this right here now. And we'll see what this does. This is going to try, we'll see, we hope not, but this is going to try to possibly produce another tornado. Marty, is that circulation, is it getting any stronger? Do you see anything on the ground right now? I know daylight's getting a little short out there.
Yeah, I can still, I'm looking at my wind right now. I'm still southeast winds, probably 20 to 30 miles an hour. Again, like, you know, as I say that, look right there, guys, right there. We've got another little lowering right there off the base of that cloud.
Right.
The sun's hitting it just right. I think we've got a funnel starting right there.
All right. Let's keep an eye on it.
Northwest of town. It's a small one right now, but it looks like to me we've got a funnel starting to rotate. coming off the west side of this storm.
Okay. All right, Marty, hang on just a second. Let's go back to Storm Shield 9, and let's keep Marty shot up. Control room, left side. There we go. Thank you. There's Woodward. There's Marty. This storm, by the way, did a split. Not a big split, but enough of a split. I think it's kind of disrupted it. And there goes part of the storm lifting north. New storms developing. These are potentially severe, crossing Highway 64. Also another severe storm now south of May. With that, you're going to have golf ball size hail, also north of Shattuck. That storm getting stronger as it continues to move off to the northeast. And we do have an area of spin now, northwest of Shattuck. That's getting stronger. You folks north of Shattuck, pay attention to this, okay? We need to watch this one carefully. We have some low-level dynamics beginning to kick in, and that might try to do something, all right? We need to keep an eye on these two storms. Okay, we will. Marty Logan's right there. That tornado warning does continue for far northern Woodward County. So, Marty, I don't see a tornado on the ground. There's the area of circulation. Crossing, or just, Marty, still looks like it's northwest of Highway 34. It's trying to cross it, but it's having a hard time doing it.
Yeah, it's staying west of 34.
Yeah.
We're probably 6 or 7 miles north, and I'm looking back to the northwest. That's probably 2 miles away. But look at there. You can see the whole base right now on the left side. There we go again. There's another point coming down out of there. We've got it backlit with the sun just a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to zoom in on it again and see if we can see it. It's just getting real hard to tell. There's a little bit of a tail coming down.
Yeah, right, but nothing.
Halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
It's coming down.
I see it. Yeah, I see it. We see it. Well, keep an eye on that. It's hard. This lighting's not good at all. Okay, and it's almost.
No, hey, look right here. Look right back in there. That's another storm, maybe northwest of this one.
It is, Marty. That's the split. Your storm, half of it split, lifted north, and that's the left mover, which normally do not produce tornadoes, but they can. But normally they don't. But that's the area of circulation up there. But your storm by far is the Big Daddy. Your storm by far is the stronger storm that still has a potential of producing a tornado.
And we had mentioned earlier Quail Ridge Acres, that housing addition that's now, Marty, that he's moved northward. That area of circulation is very near Quail Ridge Acres, which is just along and west of Highway 34, just north of where Marty is.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, and you folks there, Quail Ridge Acres, you know where you live. And tornado warning continues for you for sure. If you have a safe spot, lowest level, you know the drill. Interior closet, interior bathroom. And this is over you. If it's to your north, I think you're in pretty good shape. But if it is still coming at you or over you, you need to go to your safe spot. If you live north on Highway 34 and west of Highway 34, just a mile or two, you need to be in your safe spot. Go ahead. You have anything? Okay, Marty. Go ahead. What do you see? It's still rotating? It looks like it still is. Go ahead. Give us an update.
Yeah, we still got the base of it. Excuse me. The base of it's looking a little better where I'm looking at right there. Been talking too long. Got to get some water. Just straight north of me and on the west side of Highway 34, we still have a rain-free base. But, guys, we still have southeast winds coming into this thing. I'm at the south edge of the cloud base right now. The clouds are streaming from the south to the north. It's still feeding in there, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this thing. It's still sailing in there, and this whole base has got churning clouds in it. And, again, we're running out of daylight. Here we are 8:54 at night. And but I want to, we're going to stay with this thing until it dies.
Okay. All right. Great job there, Marty. And don't leave it. We want to talk quickly about the storms to the northwest of you. These are getting stronger. And, again, this storm is still rotating. It did produce a tornado. Let's take a look at some of the video here we have. And this is what it looked like not that long ago. We're talking about a half hour ago, and Marty had this thing live. And there it is. That was a tornado on the ground. And I'll tell you what, it was stationary in the same spot for nearly 30 minutes. That's incredible. And there is some jet stream flow today, all right? We got to have jet stream winds to get stuff like this to happen. But, man, this thing was sitting. I mean, it was sitting right there, going nowhere except just sitting in one spot. That was a tornado on the ground, and that was at 8:30. All right, that was at 8:30. So basically 30 minutes ago. How about that? Wow, look at that. Look at that cone. There it is. Tornado on the ground. If that were going through a neighborhood, I'm just guesstimating because I've done this a while, that would be an EF2. And I'm thinking, look at the ripples going on here. See the motion on the left side of that? Pretty fast. Pretty fluid motion there. See that? Right there? And there's one over there. And see how laminar it is? Very smooth, not very ragged. The smoother it is, the more violent it is, or at least the stronger it is, okay? All right, I'm not saying that's a violent tornado by any means, but it's definitely not an EF0 or an EF1. If it were to go through something, if it were to hit something, it would be probably a low-end EF2. Okay, let's go back to Storm Shield 9, and there's Marty's storm right there, moving barely northeast or east at 5 miles an hour or less. Now, what's going to be interesting here, the new storms from the southwest, these are moving, all right? They're doing what's kind of normal.
And that tornado warning has been issued for northern Ellis County.
Okay, there we go, tornado warning. And is Hank close to that? He's down to the south just a bit. Okay, let's zoom on in. Another tornado warning. This is going to be for northern Ellis County. It's going to be north of Shattuck. It's going to be north of Shattuck. There's May. Okay, this is that first storm that's severe. This is not the tornado warned storm. You folks in May, you're going to have some hail in south of May.
Right now,
winds 60 to 70.
If Chris Lee's available to talk right now, I do want to get Chris on the phone because we've been watching his stream throughout the evening. Hey, Chris, looks like a lot of electricity right now within this storm. We see all the lightning. Do you see any lowerings right now with this storm?
There is a lowering back towards our northwest, just north on Highway 34. Can't tell if it's rotating as we're starting to lose our light, but there are some lowerings along it. Let me kind of zoom in. You can kind of see. I know it's very difficult to see as it gets darker and darker, but there are some lowerings, and we're looking to see if there's any rotation. It's kind of looks like it's moving a bit north from where it was earlier, but unable to confirm anything on the ground right now. I'm pretty sure I would see it if it was, so I don't think there's anything on the ground right now, but we're watching it, David.
All right, yeah, Chris, we're watching this area closely. Brand new tornado warning was just issued minutes ago. First alert Doppler 3D will show us exactly where the two tornado warnings are in the state. This storm will stay away from Woodward. This storm, however, may not, so this is a brand new tornado warning. This is going to be just outside of Gage, right along Highway 283 here. That spin is going to be right within the west side, or on the west side of Highway 283, or Route 283, just right along County Road 1730. Looks like this storm, too, has the potential to become pretty significant, much like what we saw with the Woodward storm just minutes ago. So we continue to have this tornado watch out across northwestern Oklahoma, and this watch in effect for about another hour. Right now we have these two tornado warnings. We'll have to see if they decide to extend the tornado watch for a little bit longer here, but since we've at least had the storms in this part of the state for at least the last, I'd say the last hour and a half or so, and they certainly look like they're still spinning, maybe even becoming a little bit more organized later into the evening. So Fargo at 9:54 and Tanger here at 10:15 for this tornado warned storm, and this will be making its way close to Woodward as we go into the next at least 1 to 2 hours. Both of these storms are moving very slowly, but this storm right here has already produced a very large tornado not that long ago, and this one has potential to do the same. So we're going to continue to watch these storms. It looks like this tornado warned storm will run right up Highway 15. This tornado warned storm is drifting up to the north right along Highway 34. Both of them are serious. You need to go into your tornado shelter immediately if you're in the path of both of these storms. Keep it with KOCO 5 News. We'll bring you the first alert.
For the first alert to severe weather, stay with KOCO 5 News and KOCO.com.
It's not as strong as what it was, but it's still strong enough. No doubt about it. Still a dangerous storm to be messing with. Give us an update.
Okay, Trooper Sawatsky and I are sitting here, a couple of deputies, Woodward County deputies, looking at this thing. We thought we had another warning. We think we still have some rotation.